Welcome back to my channel and to another video. Today we're talking music theory and covering off harmonic mixing, otherwise known as mixing in key. Specifically, we'll talk about what a key actually is. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Second of all, we're going to talk about, do you actually even need to do this in your DJ sets? And then finally, I'm going to show you how to mix in key the easy way. It certainly has got a lot easier over the years with the introduction of DJing software. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So let's talk music theory in its most simplest form and talk about what exactly a key is. Well, basically, this is a group of notes that when played together sound great together. They complement each other and sound really harmonious. However, when you start introducing notes from outside of that family, so say for example you invite round the next door neighbour and you don't get on so well with them, then things start to go a bit sour. Things start to not sound as good. And this is what is known as a key clash. I won't go into much more depth than that today, but basically the key lesson here is that some notes sound great together and some notes just don't simply work, and that is what a key clash is. Now, back in the day, the only way to really detect a key clash was by listening to two tracks together. You could be mixed together perfectly, they could be perfectly beat matched, they could be perfectly in sync. However, the mix just doesn't quite work, and the most likely reason for this would have been because it sort of clashes keys. Nowadays with DJ software, it's far easier to avoid key clashing. However, back in the day, we had to go by ears. That's the only way we could do it. Now, some people are completely tone deaf and they can't detect clashing keys, but for some people, if you've ever heard a mix and you think that doesn't quite work, it's probably because the keys don't complement each other. So this leads me quite nicely into the next part of a video, answering the question, should you as a DJ be mixing in key? Now, this is probably going to be a bit of a controversial opinion. I might get some hatred in the comments from this, and I would actually argue and say you only need to mix in key some of the time. It does depend on the situation. There are going to be some people that are saying to me, oh my God, no, you need to mix in key all the time. However, I only do it some of the time, and I think it's only necessary some of the time, but it does depend on the situation. So, situation A, if you're mixing an outro of a track into the intro of the next track and it's largely drum beats, like a kick drum and a snare drum, yes, kick, snares, percussion can have a key associated to it. However, you are going to be far less likely to notice a key clash simply from going from drum beats to drum beats. DJ Mag, top 100 DJs do not mix in key 100% of the time. I can assure you of that. There will be some people that disagree with me, but that is my personal opinion. When it gets far more important to mix in key is when you are mixing more melodic elements of the tracks together, or a vocal over another track, so creating live mashups, or even if you are producing mashups. So if you're mixing, say, a piano over the melody of another track, it is far more important to mix in key, because when you have two keys that clash over those more complex melodic elements, it sounds absolutely dreadful. Similarly, if you're making like a live mashup, so an a cappella of a track, introducing that over the melody of another track when the keys don't complement each other, it sounds absolutely awful. Do not do it under any circumstances. So that is my approach. Do you need to mix in key? Yes, but only some of the time. So now that we have covered off that, how do you mix in key the easy way? Well, it's a lot easier than it certainly used to be, because DJ software, Rekordbox, Serato, etc., they all analyze the key that your record is recorded in. I would say with Rekordbox specifically, because that is the software that I use, it can sometimes be inaccurate. So if you want to be 100% certain or 99% certain that the key of your track is correct, you might want to download or buy other software known as Mixed In Key. It has that one purpose of analyzing the key of your track. The algorithm is far more accurate than that of Rekordbox. Do check it out. What you want to do though to mix in key the easy way is go to your DJ software settings and make sure that the key is switched from like your traditional keys to alphanumeric. Once you have displayed your keys in the alphanumeric form on your DJ software, you'll now see all of your tracks, rather than having, say, like C major, D minor, etc. You'll see all of your tracks have been replaced with a number, which is 1 to 12, and also a letter, A or B. So say, for example, like you've got a track up, it might say 2A or 3A or 3B, etc., etc. These letters and numbers refer to what is known as the Camelot wheel. That is shown on screen now, either left or right, depending on which space I've got when I edit this video. The A's, letter A, represents minor keys, and the B's represent major keys. And look at this like a clock face, and the easiest way to mix in key using this method, and I promise you it's not complex at all, is, say for example, you're playing a track out that is 2A. A 2A will mix well with another track that's 2A because they are the same key, but if you want to switch key, a 2A will mix well into a 3A, and it will also mix well into a 1A. And all you need to remember is you can either mix a key that's the same number and the same letter, or you can add one number or subtract a number. If you want to go from a minor key to a major key, so that's A to B, so those are the letters to bear in mind, you would go from a 2A to a 2B. The letters can only be mixed if the numbers are the same. Once you are in a major key, so say you've got the track now that's 2B, you can mix into a 3B or a 1B, but you can't go down to a 3A. So just bear that in mind. So you can go up and down the numbers, but the letters must be the same. You can't jump letters and numbers, if that makes sense. And the same method can be applied to whatever key you are playing in. So for example, like a 9A would mix well with a 10A or an 8A, or a 9A would go into a 9B. So it is like a clock face. So numbers add or subtract one, or numbers keep the same and move the letters. And that is mixing in key the easy way. I really hope that you have found this video useful, and I hope that I have explained it in a simple way for you. If you have made it this far into the video, as ever, please do give me a thumbs up. It pushes the video out to more like-minded individuals, and I will see you next time.